All right, Ganja Beach. Oh my God, what happened to my beer? Where'd it go?
Uh-oh, we lost them.
You lost me?
We had guests.
No, they're still here. We didn't lose them. Dr.
Okay.
Lonni, you messed up my intro. That's it. You're fired.
Sorry, I'm sorry. No more gum.
That's right. No more gum for you. You and that THC gum of yours. It's a nasty invention. Ganja Beach Medical Center. I'm your sidekick, actually. Super Gabe Osborne, the host of the show. We're going to give it up for Dr. Lonni from Dr. Lonni CBD. Let's give a big round of applause for him. That's right. I told you guys to give a round of applause, as if there was so many of you here just going. But I know, you're all sitting out there and you're clapping anyway because you're at home, and some of you have been quarantined for a very, very, very long time apparently. So anyway, I'm gonna pass it over to Dr. Lonni because we got some friends, some very new friends. And I hate to be corny, but it's the only way I know how to say it, from the land down under. Crikey!
Yes, actually.
How many times do you guys hear Americans say crikey and like twitch?
Crikey, mate. Got to make sure you have the mate. We're all about the mateship down under.
There you go.
Wanted to introduce my friends from Australia, Stingo and Kush, Todd and Becca, the creators of Stingo and Kush, a cartoon series, sitcom cartoon series that they're coming out with. Actually, I should say we, because they asked me to be a part of this incredible project. And I wanted them on tonight so that we could talk about the cartoon and that they could tell us a little bit about what Stingo and Kush is, and maybe share what is going on down in Australia with the cannabis scene and legalization. So with that, Todd, Becca, welcome.
Thanks, Dr. Lonni. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you heaps, Dr. Lonni. And yourself, Gabe. Awesome host. No, we're just happy to be here, really. So the project Stingo and Kush, it began probably about a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
As a concept. So in Australia, we don't have legalization at all. We have medical marijuana legalization with a very, very small patient. Patients don't have access to it. One of the biggest problems, I'm sure Beck will be able to explain a bit more because she's a nurse, is there's just no products available.
Yeah. So the TGA, which is our Therapeutic Goods Administration sort of council, the governing body of all the medicinal things that we can prescribe in Australia. They have said that it's okay for CBD to be prescribed over the counter, but there are no products that they've actually said are okay by their standards to be prescribed. So it's okay to give it out, we just don't have any to give, essentially.
My goodness.
Yeah, and it is a growing market medicinally. I went to a conference at work, and I was working at the hospital, and they were talking about how we'll be prescribing and administering cannabis in the hospital eventually, but it's a long way off yet, I think.
So it's something that you medically can get, but they've made it so hard to get that very few people can obtain it. Sounds like the old days here. Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a underground market for medicinal where patients have to do that if they can't qualify for legal? Is that part of what happens down there as well?
It's definitely recreational underground market.
Yeah, there's a recreational underground market.
I'm sure people do get it through dealers and things like that, though, without prescription.
Absolutely. In the media, you constantly see parents getting in trouble from the police because they've had to purchase products through the black market to administer to their children or themselves because of the laws and stigma around the actual plant itself. across Australia. So there is access, like people do access the black market to get the medicinal products and the recreational products. However, the issue there is the black market is not regulated. It's got no quality assurance. It's lacking any backing from any government or body that will be able to oversight and make sure that not only are patients accessing quality products, but they're accessing quality products on a consistent basis.
Mm-hmm. So when you have the opportunity to get legislation in front of your government, what are you facing? You know, one of the things we talked about a while back was trying to move this in forward in your country, and wanted to see, you know, what you're facing, what challenges in the legalization phase are you?
I think it's about swaying the opinions of the people who view cannabis smokers or marijuana smokers with that stigma. So I think that really, does that make sense?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Not only are they facing, so like, for example, our government has highly backed the manufacturing of cannabis to be outsourced to other countries like Canada, like America, and other countries that are moving towards a recreational market. So we have the manufacturing facilities here. We have on our stock market, we have the most amount of cannabis companies across the world on any stock market. We have a huge, we have all the operations ready to go. So the government's backing that. However, what they're not doing is they're not transferring that into the national side of things. There has been one state, which is the capital state, the Australian Capital Territory, ACT, that did move 12 months ago to decriminalise recreational use of cannabis. So you can grow 2 plants per person per household.
Wow.
You can have 50 grams on you at any given time for personal use. You're allowed to consume it in your own house, and that's it. However, you're not allowed to share it with anyone, or also you're not allowed to sell it, or another issue is you're not allowed to buy seeds. You're allowed to grow it, but you can't purchase the seeds, and there's nowhere to buy the seeds from. So if you buy the seeds, it's illegal. But if you do get the seeds somehow, because they naturally fall off a tree, and you grow it, it's totally cool.
Yeah.
Some of the results in the last 12 months. You've gone quiet, Dr. Lonni. I think your mic must be muted.
Are you on mute? No.
Dr. Lonni, your mute is, your video's on mute, Dr. Lonni. There you go.
Don't know what happened, guys.
Done it again.
There we go. It's doing it. It's on its own, guys. Hands are not on it.
Oh my God.
So it sounds like you guys are facing an incredible amount of hypocrisy, that you can actually grow it, but you can't obtain the seeds. You know, it sounds like they really don't believe that it has a medicinal component. You're facing even stricter, you know, background laws than we are prohibiting this. What does it take to actually become a patient? I mean, what are the conditions that they do allow the medicinal use for?
You need to find a doctor that's willing to prescribe it for you. And I think it's on the basis of usually like a mental health condition, something like PTSD. I'm not sure about things like epilepsy just yet. You can?
Epilepsy and PTSD are the main two.
They're the main two. Okay.
So the main issue that patients face is they've got to find a doctor willing to prescribe it. The doctor then has to go through regulations and get approval from state and federal levels Once approved, they're then pass that patient on to another provider to give them their medical card. Once they get their medical card, there is no suppliers. And if you do find a supplier, the price difference between the black market and the commercial market is so extraordinary that it would make no financial viable sense to purchase it from a commercial market. To give you an example, you can basically get a commercial amount of oil, which is about 30 milligrams, for about $600 to $800. To produce the same amount of oil from the black market would cost you about $180.
Wow. 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 That's crazy. Is that due to the licensing and the difficulty of being a producer? Is that what's happening there?
And because there is now roughly 25,000 strong demand and no suppliers, because the TGA hasn't approved many products. So the products that are in the market have all this demand. They have limited manufacturing capabilities because their whole market supply chain is for overseas. So they're not producing it for Australia, and the ones they are producing for Australia have to be of different quality, which results in those extra costs being passed on to the customer.
Wow, that's absurd. I mean, I just wrote a post the other day, that nobody should be denied this incredible plant, what it does for the human body in so many ways. It's something that we need to have free access to it, and to see all of these legal, just roadblocks that are unnecessary. So in terms of, the actual use of it, is oil the main medicinal use? Do they have any smokable flower that they allow?
No. Oil or capsules?
Everyone's really against smoking here in any form, sort of thing. Over the past 30 years, we've had a big turnaround. And yeah, it's like really not the done thing. I think you're muted again, Dr. Lonni.
There we go. It's happening on its own. My apologies, guys. Wanted to, I'm very excited. I wanted to hear a little bit about the cartoon and see if you guys could tell everyone about that.
Yeah, definitely. So a little bit about Stingo Kush. So the concept's in place as a communication channel. So what it will entail is Stingo Kush will be attending the University of Hemp Australia. Them and all their friends will go on adventures which are very stoner-esque, as well as educational. Being a university students, they're going to challenge all those university challenges. They're going to have to face those ones. Wow. In addition to that, the reason why we find this as such an important way is we can indirectly or directly speak to people of power or the mass market and show them using research back, scientific research back information in our delivery message. So for example, there'll be a scene where yourself, Dr. Lonni, will get to talk about what the school's all about, what the school represents. And that's an important scene for us because we're able to communicate in a way that isn't in your face, like a lecture, but something that someone can take that story away and share it with their friends. Share it with their mum and dad, share it with whoever they need to share it with, so they can destigmatize just the usage of the plant and the wellness use of the plant, most importantly.
It's really neat to hear that it's not just a stoner cartoon. It's going to have that. It's going to be a fun thing, but there's going to be this incredibly useful platform to educate people about, oh, we have Gandalf with us. Gandalf is so looking to have that platform to do the education. It is going to be very memorable, and some people may have seen the things that I've posted. My character is going to be a dragon. I think I'm going to be the headmaster of the school.
Yeah, sure. Prof D was just up in Gabe's screen, we saw.
There we go. There we go. Okay.
With mystical fog and everything.
I like it.
We sprung for a budget at Ganja Beach.
Professor doubles as a lighter. So in terms of the messages, what are the things that you're looking to accomplish there? What's the bigger picture? When you do the education, what are you hoping to influence?
I think we're trying to influence the general public, the people who are generally against having it as a recreational or medicinal substance. Try and change the minds of the people who think it's illicit and that it's not a plant, it's an actual drug. So we're trying to make it, it's a plant, it's naturally growing. We have the cannabinoid system in our bodies, it's actually going to be helping us, and it's not that gateway drug that everyone seems to think it is here. We're pushing for them to have more of an understanding of the life of the typical stoner, and also the life of people who use it not like as a medicine and not as abuse use. Does that make sense to you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So some of the other major things that we're looking to accomplish is we are hoping to use it as that communication channel to be the story to push the Australian legalization forward.
Yeah.
Now, we want to be able to use our research back, so when people watch the show, whether they be non-experienced users all the way through to the experienced users, they will get something out of it. So they might learn something about the plant that they didn't know before, or they might realize with one of the characters that they can relate to them and their personality and what the plant does when they consume it, how it changes that particular character, and how it helps them accomplish their goals and their tasks that they're set out to achieve. It's really, really important that we get the communication part right. So when people are watching it, they're not just watching a lecture. So they want to watch the fun comedy side of it. There will be a storyline there. There's villains that's trying to stop the school and shut the school down and stop the legalization of cannabis. So they've got to find out who they are and what they're doing and what they're up to. They've got to try to stop that. So there's so many of the day-to-day aspects that you'll get to experience with the show, that we're really hoping that resonates with each individual consumer in one way or another.
Mm-hmm. Well, I like what you're saying about, illuminating who are the resistance, who are the people that want to stop this. I think that's the key to it. There's a certain part of every movement, or of every one of these paradigm shifts where you have to identify who needs the education. And it's ironic that most of them can benefit from the use of cannabis. And that's something that, I just find so crazy. There's so many people here who suffer from things like cancer and what have you, yet they want to take these medications that are questionable outcomes and have incredible side effects. And cannabis, even if you use it as an adjunct, this is where, that's my goal, is to get people to look at it as an adjunct to, the traditional therapies, because you can tolerate higher amounts of radiation and chemotherapy for a longer period of time, and the recovery is faster. And, we don't know enough about it to give you a prescriptive dose of, let's say, this or that, particular chemovar yet. But hopefully there will come a day where we do have the right cannabinoid for the right, illness. But right now, I think, just getting people to understand what you're saying through this, it's genius. What a wonderful, wonderful way of educating them. So how did you guys come up with Stingo and Kush? Can you tell us a little bit about where that came from?
All fun.
No, it wasn't. No, it was not. Definitely not. So the concept, to be completely honest, I wanted to enter the cannabis industry in one way or another. I'm attending the University of Canberra as an entrepreneur student in my final year. And throughout the process, and the research that I've conducted, I came across just the power of storytelling and how that resonates. I mixed that with my own personal childhood favorite cartoons like Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, One Piece, all the best ones there is. And I remember learning a lot from those sorts of shows, just about friendship and other aspects of life on how to communicate with people. And I thought that was a really, really powerful way to get a message across. So we came up with Stingo Kush simply as we were going to design hemp shirts and just sell shirts with characters on them because we thought that was cool. And then it just evolved from there. One thing led to another. Each time we designed a new image for a shirt, and then we kind of come up with stories. Would be in the shed talking, having discussions about different stories and different experiences that we've had before, and it just kind of all snowballed. And from there, I spoke to the university. We got the university's backing in the sense of they're helping me with the structure and the processing and how to do all the operation side of aspects of the business. And it's just snowboard. It's just kind of gone from there. And we're getting super close to actually the first episode, the pilot episode, being ready for testing and then launch, which is super cool.
Yeah.
I've got to say it is. Writing the script, kind of developing the characters, it really is neat. Trying to figure out how to integrate, I guess the storyline into the character and the character into the storyline. In terms of the actual, launch, what are you guys thinking of doing? Is this something that is going to be available here in this country? Is it something that's only going to be in Australia?
Worldwide.
Yeah, so we'll actually have a bit of a launch strategy in place. So we're hoping to get on board as many partners as possible, where we can pre-launch the show on their platforms, on their networks, on their so dispensaries, if they want to put it on their, like our promo for the show. And from there, we will launch it on YouTube at the same time as launching it. I'm pretty sure we've got to discuss this with you guys, but we might be doing a digital platform launch alongside some musicians and a few other things to make it a bit more of a digital launch to have that entertainment factor as well.
Nice. Very nice. That sounds like a lot of fun. And when you say a digital launch, any idea when this is going to be?
It's hard to tell.
It is hard.
Production is one of the things that we've discovered with the production is the timeline has to kind of be fluid. We've had milestones that we've reached, but they've kind of been pushed back with COVID. I know it's a shit excuse because it's COVID, but it's the reality of things, unfortunately. So we're hoping, fingers crossed. We don't think we can, but we're going to push our best for 420 launch. If not, in July, maybe 720.
That'll be cool. One of the big holidays. Okay, that sounds fun. So within the next few months, I like it. I like it. So when people get to see Stingo and Kush, is it something that is just going to be these pilot episodes, or are you looking at expanding this and making this a season after season cartoon?
So we're starting with a pilot episode with the intentions of pitching that to different things like Netflix and stuff like that. And then we're going to move on to like a sitcom sort of series.
Running for 3 seasons, possibly more, depending on how the storyline advances. And our goal is, from the pilot episode, if we can get enough backing, enough support to make this show a reality, one of the major networks or streaming platforms will pick us up and give us the capital and the backing and the resources that we need necessary to turn the vision and the concept into a reality. One thing that we are doing, because the biggest thing with Stingo and Kush is me and Becca paid for it ourselves out of our own savings, is the products that we got online at our store. All the profits that we generate from that will be directly funneled into the production of the show. So it's simply going to be paying for itself to re-put stock on the shelves, but all the profits will be producing the show.
Excellent. And I see that we have a special that if people go on to the stingoandkush.com website, you guys can check out the things that they have there for sale. If you use the Ganja Beach code, you get a 10% discount on it. So thank you guys for offering that to our viewers. And tell us a little bit about the future of Stingo and Kush. I mean, is it just going to be cartoons? Are you looking to do more than just cartoons in the cannabis sector?
Let's start with the cartoon. And hopefully we can progress society here in Australia to allow for like the recreational use and medicinal use more mainstream, and potential cafe, maybe little Stingo and Kush cafe.
Yeah.
Come get your cuppa and your medicine.
We do have big grand plans. Obviously, we would like in the future. The major factor for us is from the TV show. We use that as a platform to move towards consumers and being more engaged with consumers and on the ground floor. So dispensaries, if we have the ability to open them due to regulations, cafes, and just being there with the actual culture and the community. We want to be at the forefront of that. We want to be making sure that we're uniting the current marketplace that's there, that's all trying to fight their own little battles and bring them all together, because unity is key. And then moving on from that and helping the actual market and the industry establish itself here and then across the world.
I have a really important question to ask you guys. What is your favorite strain?
Oh, OJ Kush.
Ooh,
OJ Kush.
interesting.
Actually, to be completely honest, we'll be honest with you, in Australia, in regional markets like ourselves in a regional city, we don't have that option. There's no one grows strains. No one tells you what product it is. You walk into a house that you got a random number and you got onto an app, and it's some house where someone goes, give us your money, they give you a sappy bag, you walk out. They didn't tell you what it is, how it was grown, where it's from. So we don't really know what our favorite strain is because we haven't had the ability to test strains. We try a bunch of different stuff. I'm pretty sure someone told me that they got some American Wonder Woman in, and we tried that. That was wonderful, but we don't know, to be honest.
No, I can actually completely appreciate that. Being from Bayside, Queens. Whoa! I just made myself completely disappear. But yeah, no. Being from New York, it was one of those things. Also, we just had a guy, and you didn't have a strain. It was just weed. You just went and you got weed,
Yep.
and sometimes you were lucky; it was really good weed, and then other times you weren't as lucky and you got a lot of seeds. You know, but yeah, I remember moving to Florida, and one day I met someone. They're like, "Yo, I got that crippy," and they're like, "What? What are you talking about?" And they're like, "Yeah, we got a strain." I'm like, "What? What is it?" And they smoked it, and I'm like, "Well, that's really good." Am I chopping? No. Are we good?
We're good
Yeah,
now.
brick weed sucks. I completely concur. That's right. I like that.
Yes.
Yeah, it does. Brick weed
But it's
does
better
suck.
than nothing. It's better than nothing. Keep this in mind.
It is.
You know,
how good would it be if Stingo Kush worked, hypothetically, and legalization moved forward and we had a commercial marketplace and we had dispensaries and I could offer different strains and say, this is this and this is that, especially with companies like the Nimbus, who are developing that software, like that could come over to Australia and that could be a game changer for us as well.
Yeah. Clearly. I mean, it's something that when people understand the prescriptive value of something like that, when you understand what works for a particular problem, and you now have people that are wondering, what can I get? You know, here we have just the opposite. We have a lot of different strains, new names, different strains that are crossed, so the genetics are kind of blended. So we need something that's going to tell people, is it uplifting, is it sedating, where it has a breakdown of what's in the product, terpenes, cannabinoids, flavonoids, and how it's really going to affect you. So yeah, what a great point to bring up. You know, it's like a, plug and play. You type in what you have and it tells you, go look at these 3 things.
Yeah, definitely.
Really.
So that's awesome. That's the future of it. So in terms of the favorite strain, what about your favorite way to ingest cannabis? What is your favorite way to ingest cannabis?
So there's kind of only major 2 ways to ingest it here in Australia. It's in smaller cultures, smaller subcultures that have the ability. They do have the ability to produce dabs and stuff like that, but we don't. So ourselves, we have flour to smoke or flour to put into a magic butter to turn into butter. So then baked goods. So we kind of have those 2 methods. Out of those 2 methods, I haven't. Beck has, but I haven't mastered the butter, so it tastes like poop. So I can't eat it, so I have to smoke it. But it would definitely be my least preferred way to smoke something. Yeah, to consume smoke. I would much prefer another method, just simply for longevity of usage and longevity of my body.
Okay.
So you say it doesn't taste good when you have the butter?
Yeah.
Have you tried coconut oil instead of butter?
No.
Try coconut oil instead of butter. For some reason, it helps the taste a whole lot.
We'll give that a go.
We'll give that a go for sure.
Yeah. And then you can replace butter with coconut oil instead.
Definitely. All right, put that on the list.
The refined coconut oil. It's the refined one, so it doesn't have the pieces of coconut in it, and it doesn't have the flavor. It's just neutral in flavor.
Okay, we'll give it a go.
Yeah.
Make some brownies.
Make some brownies. Make some Rice Krispie treats.
Biscuits.
There you go. Cookies. Oh yeah, the cookies. Cookies are where it's at. I like making the cookies nice and small because then you get them like little doses, but actually Dr. Lonni knows that's a lie. I just said that for the responsible people. I will eat a cookie that's the size of my head and I don't care how many milligrams are in it. I'm just like, I eat the whole thing.
I think there was a Ganja Beach episode with Dr. Wiener where you had this gigantic Rice Krispie treat that was infused, and she was looking at you like, you're not going to eat that whole thing, and you're like, yes, I am.
And I did.
You did. And 4 days later, we heard from him again.
Yeah, I was slurring for about 6 days. Like,
but this is where I think getting to the point where you can actually talk and learn, like tonight, just being able to share and learn from other people about how to do things. I mean, this is the communal nature of cannabis, and that's the one thing that these governments have taken apart, is that people don't know how to make it work. In terms of cooking with it, I mean, Gabe, we've done things with CBD recently, And one of my favorite things has been to infuse things like olive oil. And we've done a coconut oil recently where you can just drizzle it on top of foods. It makes it so much easier to ingest in your life. You know, you don't have to just smoke it. Most people think, you know, when you hear the word cannabis, the stigma, oh, there must be smoking reefers. And, you know, it's not about that. It's about putting the cannabinoids in the body so that it will work and do its job.
Exactly.
What me and Lonni do at the Ganja Beach Test Kitchen, which we haven't discussed that yet, but there's been a test kitchen that me and Dr. Lonni have been going to, and we're coming up with all these like different recipes for things. And you know, we found that like after you make the brownies, after you make the butter, we got like, you know, you got leftovers, you got stuff, and everyone always puts it into trash. And we found other ways to like take the plant matter, the material, and turn that into more medicine, which has been like
Oh, wow.
mind-boggling because you can use every aspect of the plant almost through the entire process. So it's just really cool. These are yeah, so we just like really get like so many uses. You know, it's funny because when we smoke it, we just smoke it. It's ash, it's gone. But when
Right.
you cook with it, and then there's just so many things that go into it that have just been so awesome. Things that we're going to be testing, and things that we're going to be showing on our Ganja Beach Patreon. I don't even know. I don't even know if we've even announced the Patreon yet. But there's one. There's one. It's out, and I know that we're going to talk about it on Ganja Beach Cooking. If you guys haven't seen our latest episode, Ganja Beach Cooking, make sure to check out Ganja Beach Radio Facebook page. And also make sure to get your Ganja Beach Cookbook, which is also available on ganjabeachmedia.com. Information is down below in the ticker. Dr. Lonni.
Yes, sir.
I just went on a talking rampage. And I've been smoking some sativa, and my tongue is dry from so much talking. I have no more saliva.
Oh, must have been that good sativa we were talking about.
Sandpaper. Okay. My tongue is like sandpaper right now.
Cottonmouth.
Oh,
anticholinergic effects of the cannabis plant.
I need some of that cottonmouth killer.
So no, it's when you're passionate, that's when we get into these talking things. The Ganja Beach Cooking is one of our channels. We've got the Ganja Beach Medical Center, the Nerds. So we're opening up for channels as we go on of content. And, you know, little by little, yes, we've been talking about different ways to take the cannabis flower. We've been working with CBD or hemp flower, which is so much less expensive. And if you mess up, it doesn't matter. But the things that you can make with it are incredible. To make a coconut oil, a olive oil, you know, I have people that I've given it to that are just drizzling it on salads, and now they're telling me they're craving salads. You know, you can eat it, or you can take this, and now you can go ahead and the coconut oil, you can put this on in a lotion and make an infused, like a CBD infused skin lotion. You can take it and put it on a transdermal patch, or make your own transdermal patch by putting it on a bandage. I mean, one plant, and you can now convert it into so many different forms. The reason I came up with that was, you know, patients that just simply can't afford it. You know, even with the discounts that I'm able to get for patients, they still can't afford an extra $50 a month even for adding CBD to their regimen of medicine. And when you start to look at it, if it's kind of like going to the store and you're buying a whole chicken and you debone it yourself. You're doing the work instead of paying someone to do it for you. So learning how to do it is a really neat thing. It's kind of fun. And like Gabe said, it's everything can be used, up to the grinds of all of the, you know, plant material. You don't throw them away. You can reuse them in other ways. So it's neat. It's a very green kind of hobby.
Yeah, got a bit of a green thumb there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're going to be teaching more of that stuff again on Ganja Beach Medical Center. Check out their Ganja Beach Medical page on Facebook. Also, we have Ganja Beach Cooking once again. Just mentioning them one last time because you know, as we make things like butter and oil and olive oil, we show exactly how to use the cannabis, because that's the problem. Everyone does the same thing. Like, I got coconut oil. What do I do with it? Do I just eat it? You know, like they don't know what to do. When they have butter, they don't know what to do with it. They're so confused. Like, how, you know, that one of the biggest questions when, you know, you show them something that's infused, they go, "How did you get the weed in it? How'd you put the weed in the food? How is it possible?" They can't wrap their mind around it. And we answer all those questions on Ganja Beach Cooking. And if you want to learn more about all that stuff, like really detailed information, because you just like absorbing information, go to Ganja Beach Media and check out our cookbook. You'll see it. It's the first thing that shows up on the website, ganjabeachmedia.com. Order yours today. And I believe we're still in the very oh, there was a fancy term for it, but I'm high and I can't say the proper term. But but basically, there's a very special gift right now. So just order now, and you're gonna get a very limited edition signed, you know, Chef Mary. That is limited to, I think, only the first 100 people. So make sure to get yours. I would pull mine out, but I don't have it with me. But yeah, it's got a Ganja Beach golden seal on it, and lots of information about how to decarb and how to infuse your oils, and also how to use those oils.
How cool is that?
That's awesome. We're going to grab ours.
Yeah.
We're going to grab a copy ourselves.
That's right. Guys, go ahead.
I did just want to touch base on some important news in the Australian marketplace. So earlier we mentioned that Canberra itself has decriminalised cannabis. Why you can grow there and consume it there and have it on you. You can't buy the seeds to actually grow it. So that's quite funny. But so they just released a report. It's been 12 months. It's been 12 months since they did this. They just released a report. Some of the statistics we found very, very interesting. So the first one is cannabis-related crimes dropped 90%. 90% in 12 months.
Wow.
There has been no increase in hospital visits whatsoever. There's been a decrease in the amount of drug drivers on cannabis, because now they can plan and think about when they're going to use it and how they're going to use it. The usage rate has maintained a steady, so it hasn't increased, but it has decreased among teenagers and those early usages, which is perfect because we don't want them using the product unless they're using a prescribed product from a medical professional. So it's very, very, the laws itself has been such a relief and such a massive economic turnaround for the area. Like, to go reduce crime rate, reduce court appearances by 90% in one particular segment by decriminalizing. What the hell? Why isn't that everywhere?
Exactly.
I mean, that's basically what they're doing here, you know, and to look at what recently happened in November, Oregon, the entire state is now not only decriminalized so many different drugs, but they've also, in my case, they've made it legal to do psilocybin therapy. So looking at not only, you know, decriminalizing, but legalizing, that's taking a very progressive step forward in some ways. You know, looking at some of these things as the medicinal plants that they are, that's the goal. It's not something that, you know, in my case, I don't have to teach people how to go get high. You know, you can go out and do that on your own. But, you know, you come talk to me if you have a medical problem, and chances are we can address it with some of these plants. And that's the beauty of it, is that when you look at it that way, it really does work. So to hear that, the statistics support that, that's wonderful. When does it come up for a vote again in your country?
Oh, state by state. So with the new laws, each state premier that gets elected will have a 4-year term. And at the moment, all the state electorals have got a big stance on no, besides the ACT,
Canberra.
which is Canberra. So we're coming up to state elections at the end of this year, early next year, which will be a pivotal point. So we're hoping with the Stingo and Kush episode as well, that it can be that, I don't want to say political push, but it can help people address that political sense leading up to the elections. So hopefully they do lighten their stance or try to change their stance to be a more positive direction towards cannabis becoming a legalized product, and especially the TGA jumping on board and working with the cannabis community to approve some of those products more frequently, and then giving retailers the ability to stock it.
Mm-hmm. Now, it's nice to hear that you guys are moving in that direction, and to be able to, help you guys with this project. I hope that we can educate people and hopefully change the way they perceive things. So, guys, is there a way that people can reach out to you if they wanted to connect with you? How can they?
Absolutely. So they can subscribe on our website if they would like to keep in the loop with up-to-date information about what's going on behind the scenes. If they want to reach out to us directly to be in touch, they can email us at admin@stingoandkush.com. We'll be more than happy. We'll get back to them directly from ourselves. But yeah, if anyone wants to touch forward with us for any particular reason, we're happy to hear it.
Follow us on Instagram, keep updated. Direct message us if you like.
On Facebook,
Yeah.
we're progressing that way. On our YouTube channel, they can subscribe as well. And if they need to, we have on our team, we have a bunch of different people that they can be in contact directly, and that can feed through, and we can speak to them that way if they prefer.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, thank you very much. It's been awesome having you on the show tonight. And I am so looking forward to continuing this work and getting this first pilot done. And we'll be sharing teasers with people maybe around 420, I think. Hopefully something for you guys to see.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Okay. And thank you again for joining us, everybody. It's been another wonderful episode of the Ganja Beach Medical Center. And just wanted to see, is there anything you wanted to share, Gabe?
Yeah. I'm high.
You pulled us.
Yeah.
Pulled us.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Take two brownies and call the doctor in the morning.
Yeah, whatever is in my pipe, it's magical, like Gandalf.
That just looks cool, I gotta say.
Yeah, man. A really cool guy got it for my birthday. Ganja Beach Medical Center. Thank you, Stingo and Kush. Thank you, Dr. Lonni. Thank you, Super Gabe Osborne. Oh, that's me. And yeah, we will see you guys later. Have a good night. Make sure, if you haven't already smoked, I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't smoke. It's the Ganja Beach Medical Center. It's prescribed. The doctor prescribed it. Everyone, do it.
Yeah. Take 2 hits and call us in the morning, guys.
That's right.
Thank you for having us, and have a lovely day, everyone. Thank you for joining us, and keep an eye out for the Stingo and Kush. What's happening? We'll be putting some stuff out there, and we hope you enjoy it.
That's right. Make sure to visit stingoandkush.com and use discount code Ganja Beach. Once again, that's Ganja Beach for 10% off all of their products. And so make sure to check it out. Guys, have a good night. Enjoy. Have a rest of your day. Peace, love, light, all that good stuff. Find your beach. Later.
Bye, guys. Good night.
Bye.